Hello. Yep. I know it said looking last week that I will barely sign up for it. This is the real live stream. Because as y'all know, I think I'm missing this on last stream. I talked about that market to a big, to gospel breakdown for both pops. So this is 10 year first YouTube. So happy 10 year anniversary, Mark. And it's fine here. And I break it down because I have so many freaking questions about this, and hopefully he answered them all. I don't know. I'm scared that I can answer everything. I have so many questions, like a lot of things. A lot of things. I mean, I feel like I'm pissed about some things. The first thing I'm pissed off is people with that. Because I said plus people living in this timeline, okay? But I was all like, then what? It's like that like before that I talked to you on with my foot. That's like a fake way. It's like a fake. Before like I'm still confused with so many things. But once you get to this, notice yes, I am sick. So my scratchy throat, I sound like a horse and stuff. So yeah. Second thing I'm missing is that this last tech was so good, and I loved it and loved everything about it. And let's get here about Mark for real. He did so good on this kit, and yeah. Alright, that's another missing. This is gonna be a big stream. I'm gonna play some the time for me, but this stream is gonna stay going on. I'm going for 3 hours. So like I said, it's gonna be a big stream because think about how many things were in this. So yeah. Also, obviously, I want to see if we can find the next attack TLB under the ocean with Markiplier. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I have to say before we get to this. Now let's see his breakdown on this, because there's a lot he needs to go through. And here's a man with dinosaurs. Hopefully, we find the answers because we're confused on a lot of things. So, yeah, I thought that Young Grand would definitely do a live stream after this, but I guess not. Because busy or something, I don't know. Anyways, let's go.
There's no one I'd rather go down with than myself from another plane of existence. I was never afraid of dying, but I'm really not lying when I say that I don't mind doing it with you, and 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 you. So that's goodbye. You're at the end of space and time. So that's goodbye. Above and below the endless sky. Oh, we're going down in a blaze of glory. Was dragging into a million stories. Goodbye. So that's goodbye. Lost stepping on Legos and Primo labs. I guess some things are better gone. But I really miss that universe where I got to be King Kong. The one where there's no world poverty, and the one where I'm friends with the Yeti. And the one where I was a mad scientist who made
Bedford.
But it's true, we'll never
Tim's.
and we're headed for final oblivion. There's no one I'd rather long out with to leave my count with and all the means of existence. True, it would be a painful end, but at least I'm with my friends, the ones that stuck by my side always through and through. It's you and me and you and me and me and me and me. So that's goodbye. You're at the end of space and time. So that's goodbye. Above and below the endless sky.
Oh, hello. Man, the last goodbye. Oh, so topical to this stream in so many ways that I won't explain further until the very end of the stream. Just make really speaks to my current mood at the moment. Saying goodbye one final time. Coincidentally, 10 years of
I said I would be a part of this bit.
I said to Amy yesterday, like, hey, what if on the stream tomorrow I do this big bit through the whole stream where I pretend and make illusions and say like, oh man, it's this is a bittersweet day, and then like make you all think that I was going to quit YouTube. Maybe. Maybe so, like maybe not.
You can do whatever you want. I just can't keep a secret.
You're right. So, what a heavy day this is. But 10 years. Yeah, and yes, I saw a lot of people. Yeah, I got my hair cut. This is the funny thing about every time I go into a haircut when I have longer hair, I tell them, hey, I'd like to keep the length. I kind of like it, but if you clean it up, and then they go, okay, and they cut it all off, and I'm like, what part of me wanting to keep the length did you not understand? But yeah, so this is what happened. Thanks. Thank you. I don't hate it. Like it's not like it's a bad cut. It was like I wanted to keep the long.
It
needs to go, yeah, it needs to adjust to it definitely. Am I retiring? Let me get through the stream first. Anyway, 10 years. It's not 10 years as of today, but it is 10 years as of April 4th, which was when Space released. So that was why Space released on a Monday, because that was a very important day for me, and I wanted.
Oh yeah, 10 years. So yeah,
my 10-year anniversary. Because what better 10-year anniversary than that? So yes, this is going to be talking about 10 years of YouTube, but also it's going to be the big behind-the-scenes stream for Space to talk about all that. If you have not seen In Space with Markiplier yet, you should probably watch it because we're going to be talking about a lot of spoilers that have been we've been eager to talk about for a very long time. But for right now, I just want to kick it off by saying thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. For those of you who have been here 10 years, which I know there are some of you who've been here for 10 years. And also to any of you who have decided to hop along for this crazy ride that is my channel and the videos that I make, and especially all of it culminating in Space. So it's just been a really, really satisfying experience. And what was that one quote someone said? Like, I forget where it was, like a tweet or something. It's like, man, Mark just seems like he is entirely powered by the creative process or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was that tweet? I forget who said that, but he was like, yeah, honestly, I am, and I wish a lot more people were, because it's true. I just love the.
Also, I say that website is
It's super
shut
cool.
down
So,
without
last
working
minute
anymore.
warning,
So
spoilers on
if you wonder why I
Space,
didn't do
because
the
the series is going
website,
to be going over everything.
after I
Before we
got
go
to all
into
see my
the
pop
production
to
of it, we're gonna
it's guys,
you
it was
guys.
down.
So this is
Before
your
it got
last
shut
chance over
down.
here to go watch
So
it, so you don't get
yeah.
everything spoiled. That being said, we're going to
But it sucks. Let's hope it, or something that's on. Let's wait out to the website. As soon as space pop to got released, but doesn't happen.
I wanted to
This got shut down.
but unfortunately that won't be ready for today. So the blooper and behind the scenes video will be posted separately next Sunday. I'm going to say next Sunday. And also just FYI, after my big end of stream announcement, I'll save it for later. I just couldn't possibly even contemplate that right now. Yeah. So just thank you all so much for joining this. I also want to give a shout out to the people who I've done collabs with. I didn't do as many as I wanted to do because I just so happened to go to the hospital like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago or whatever it was, which kind of got in the way of doing a lot. But just today, like I did a video with the Quarter crew talking to Nico about this and how they were a big inspiration for not only me starting YouTube, but also just for like just learning how to do these VFX and how to execute and how to communicate like the needs and wants of it. And also, there's the video I did with Rosanna Pansino, which if you haven't watched part 2 yet, Ro's in it. Spoil when or where, but
hey, yeah, so much happens. I was only supposed to be in it, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is a hash Markiplier.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Really good.
The Ro video, just like I have only become less hinged,
More insufferable.
insufferable. Quality.
I didn't hear him saying something about Ro being in it, so that way I was surprised.
That's my general.
My reaction to all that bit that Ro was in it, because I don't remember him saying anything about Rosanna being in it.
Oh my god, maybe even more so. It just doesn't come across that way on camera sometimes. But yeah, it's really good. So go find that video, Support the Corridor. We made a community post about that earlier today. And then upcoming, I'm doing a video where I talk with Anthony Padilla. And that's just like a nice, gonna be a very long conversation if you've seen his videos before. You know the basic format. He spends a day with me, and good God, we talked for like 3 hours straight. I'm pretty sure about 3 hours. So I don't know how that's gonna get cut down, but it will. All right. With all that being said, it is just about time to get going on this whole shebang. Talking about space, watching space, me revealing all the secrets that even to this day some people have missed. A lot of people have missed some of the things that I'm going to showcase.
Connecting the dots, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's some people that are like almost nail on the head, like super accurate, like really close to the truth of the matter. And it's just like it's really fun to see people dive into this one and really like eat it up, tear it apart, enjoy it, because that's why I make it. That's why I've been making videos for 10 years. It's not only for me like to feel fulfilled in what I'm doing, but also just like to see you guys enjoy what I'm doing, and really like absorb it, get sucked into the wormhole. It is my mind, all those things. But I guess before we get started, maybe we could get a couple questions from people, if people have any overall questions about overarching. Yeah.
Questions.
Also, like I didn't do a video with MatPat yet. I hope to in the future, but MatPat did like not only 2 streams playing it, but also just made a lore video about it before part 2 came out. And also just a thank you to everybody that has played in Space Markiplier either on stream or in video. That's totally okay. You can do that. Film your reactions to it, stream it, pull your audience.
Hey, like me. Hey, you're welcome, Mark. Hey, shout me. You're welcome, Mark, for doing live streams of part 1, part 2. Again, so it's not create some channels so I could do places up, because sounds like how Yoka Granny was doing it, like cool live plays. Like, you know what? I was watching myself on YouTube playing it as well. So that's always a great this YouTube channel. So yeah, I was trying out this stream. This is it. This is my last thing. I'll put for this and the channel. Probably ban forever or till the next box game comes out. Gonna be like it's in the last stream. Like I have a whole Twitter account for my main time as with YouTube channel. So I'm really not crazy to account, so I could live myself playing space. So yeah. So after this stream, y'all, I'll be that serious about this. After this stream, I'm going to post a video tomorrow. It's going to get archived. But this could possibly be live stream, depending on how my set get fixed. Now, I'm not going to fix all of this, so I might do this. This might not be live stream, but once we're done, watching all this breakdown stuff, then that will do it for this channel, okay? Because that's what I was saying with Space Markiplier. After marking the stream, that's where space will be officially done, and I can, I guess, return to, to normal videos. So, yeah.
Enough work doing part 1 and 2. We will
Probably 6
hour
hours.
runtime, guys.
6 hours,
6 hours, 57
There you
minutes.
go.
There's 6 hours and 57 minutes of total footage in both part 1 and part 2. I'd like to think there's more than enough content for you to enjoy.
I love the idea of there being more, but
Yeah, that would be great if there was more. That's kind of like the whole thing. It's not even me being like, come on, how much do you guys want? I wanted to give you more. I will show you some of the earlier drafts of my early, even before they were scripts, like my outlines of the show and the ideas that I wanted, how much content got cut. How many pages was the script when we started?
God, I have no idea.
300
I wish
something.
I had the binder.
Yeah, it was. I think when I finished, it was about 120,000 words was how much the script was for part 1 and part 2. Before I started cutting it down, actually, I think I have it up here. If I open, is it this one? I don't know if this one has like me actually writing more of the.
Yeah, because a lot of them are just outlines.
This isn't enough. This isn't all of it. But even this with just outline is 165,000 words. The actual full breadth of how much I wrote before we got to that 120,000. I think I wrote about 250 something thousand.
And I don't know if that even includes some of those like last minute scenes that you were writing.
Oh yeah, those additions. I have no idea. Like those were a few pages at a time, changes we made there. So final, I don't even know. It's big, and like tear it apart. You guys have been enjoying it. I'm thrilled with the response to it. People, all the art and the memes, and also just like people actually feeling the story. That's really special to me, and I can't thank you guys enough for all of that. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the first video. Oh, also the last goodbye by Shmo Yoho. If you guys don't send
What's
Shmo
the
Yoho,
Gregory Brothers on Spotify?
the Gregory Brothers on Spotify. The last goodbye is on Spotify. It's on iTunes. Buy it, support them. They did an incredible job. I will talk about that. You know, the Yancey scene, all of it. We're gonna go through everything today, and then the BTS video is going to be very fun. I have not even seen it yet, so there's a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes that I did not see.
That BTS. How much footage do you think there was?
It was each of them had about 5 to 6 hours, so maybe like 20 hours of behind the scenes footage.
Because it was 6 weeks of production,
Yeah.
and that's like the vast majority of what the behind the scenes video is.
Mhm.
And so it was just Tyler with the camera
Yeah.
for like 6 weeks straight, like
And
8 hours a
and
day of filming.
a lot of people on set,
Yeah.
just like with their phones, like rapping stuff. It's super cool. Yeah, it's there's so many things that I can talk about. We'll try to keep it condensed. I actually wrote notes for the stream so we don't get too off topic and go crazy, because otherwise we could be here all day.
We will
But
be here all
we will be here all day. So without further ado, this is In Space with Markiplier Part 1. Spoiler alert, everything will be spoiled. And we will be stopping and starting the most through this, and then we will be voting on different choices.
Oh, yeah, I hope we talk about what happened to the Force Invincible. You better, Mark. You better talk about what happened to the Force Invincible. For real.
So I want to pause right here. Give a shout out to this man, Bolt Boggs, incredible actor. There's actually a short film that I helped produce. Like all I did was help fund it. Just because he had this idea. If you haven't seen it, it's called Crazy. I believe it's on YouTube. Yeah. So if you look up like Crazy short film or Crazy movie and you see Bolt Boggs, this guy is pretty fun. I'm in it just for a little bit, but I'm in it. But also just like to talk about the fact that this show looks good. Period. It was so nice to be able to do this, because the problem with doing things in space is obviously I can't go to space, so you have to rely on VFX for all of it you do. And this is what I talk about with Corridor Crew. The reason like it turned out as good as it did, with 6 hours and 57 minutes of runtime and over 400 VFX shots. And if you don't know what that means, that's okay. Those of you that do, your jaws are on the floor. I think it amounted to like 460 VFX shots, maybe more. And it's just like, the reason that it was able to happen is not only because the people that worked on it were incredibly talented. Burning Tractor in Austin, incredibly talented people. If anyone in the film industry is watching this, they are worth the hire, because they do great work and they're really fun to work with. Big shout out to Wes and his entire team for doing this. The reason I talked to Corridor about this, and I have to give them appreciation, is because they have a series called VFX Artists React, and it's a very entertaining series. I highly recommend anybody watch it, because they watch movies and they break down the process behind visual effects, and they talk about how it's done, where things can go wrong, and what that did. It didn't teach me how to do visual effects, but it taught me the language of visual effects and knowing the constraints that you operate in with visual effects. It's not magic; it's art. People have to actually work on it. So with this, this is a very complex shot. This might be the most complex shot of the show, although there are many, because of all the elements you have in the background. Those windows, it's just green screen and tracking markers on there, and they comped into. They built this beautiful ship. They built like these windows there. All these different elements combined to a relatively seamless experience that really immerse you in this space. It makes you feel like you are in space. So it's just like, it's really cool to see all this come together. In these, every single second of this opening scene took hours of work. I just want to put that out there. All right, continue.
That's right, on stage. Huge fan. Huge fan. Fine. Great. We're quite well now. Visible towers are still on our motor. Pushing docking bay 4. Closing the blast shields. Copy you.
Baltimore.
Could be totally fruition anyway. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I know exactly where we're at. Check it out. We're gonna land in 5. Captain, you're early. I guess it's an honor. I think maybe we can hang out or something. We're gonna cover him with, beer school.
Welcome aboard the Invisible team. I need to go back a bit. Okay, so pausing again here, because I said this a few times here and there. For those of you who have watched this, and remember, this is big spoilers. If you have not seen the show, links are in the description of both part 1 and part 2. It actually doesn't matter which part you start on. Go down there, flip a coin, pick one, watch the show. We're talking about everything here. You can come back later. The VOD of this will be posted and all that. The reason I'm backing up is because I said in small circles that, for those of you who have watched, actually, let me just say in chat right now, for this opening video, did you see Old Mark?
No.
In chat, if you saw Old Mark in this video. Oh yeah, captions, right.
A lot of people say that. I want to just point out, because I saw people asking, how Mark's logo says like M2702, which is like obviously just a joke reference, and people were like, oh, where are the other patches on the other characters' references? And I think most of them are just the costume people putting like their favorite little numbers or things in them. So they're meaningful to the crew.
Yeah,
but there isn't like a code or anything in them.
This is like
Well, I did see Unmarked the first time I saw this.
Oh no!
Your light isn't on.
No! This was a constant plague. This wrist computer thing had these lights on it, and it was a constant battle because we had to turn it off to save battery because it lasted like no time, and I would always forget to turn it back on.
There's a couple places where it's not on.
My
I didn't realize it was right at the
I
open.
didn't realize it was here either. Oh man, it's off. Okay, anyway, so most of you saw Mark, some of you didn't. Now tell me this: did Old Mark, appear in the opening video once or twice? That's the next question.
Like I Spy.
It is Like I Spy. Okay. Once, twice, a lot of onces. A lot of onces. The correct answer is 3 times. This is Old Mark. Right there. You can barely see him. But that, my friends, is Old Mark. Baba-booey. And there's a reason for this. There's a reason that he's here, right? And once again, we'll get to it when we get to Old Mark, but there's a reason. This is the first time that he appears. Like Old Mark, you can see the blue sweater. Like you can tell that's him. He goes into the elevator before you, and you'll actually notice the door closes back there as he goes up, and that's why. Let me give you the grand tour before we embark.
Do you want to talk about this room, this set?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
for the elevator trick, right?
Right, yeah. So this is another behind the scenes little look into this. This room that we're in, this is the hangar, quote unquote.
My game
Same
is like
room as the warp
7.
core. So we did
So
this is like
it's
the
one
practicalities and the
minutes.
limitations of what we have. We have a lot of
They
limitations.
did possibly out
We only have so big of a
tomorrow.
set, so we had to be really smart.
Or
That's how
probably
we approach doing it.
no, I
Because we
might
had so big of a set, we
kiss
had so
and
big
go
of
on
a
my
content
mate,
that
then
was
I'll
fun.
I'll
Mark
tell that off. No.
literally touched like the.
Actually, no, I can't because I'm off. Well, on past stream stories on this account.
Fire. Actually, we
Yeah.
over the line initially because the dimensions that we were given were incorrect.
Yeah.
For the build of the ship. So like you only have so. I mean, how big was the whole ship?
I mean, whole ship, I would guess is maybe like probably like a
I
maybe
see
30
what
by
I'm doing
40.
this. I'm
30
gonna
by 40. It
Maybe
might,
like 60.
yeah, maybe it's
go ahead
specific.
and do Google
I have
down
the
from
schematic, but I don't know the
that
exact
new
dimensions.
stream
But
account
that
because
has
about
been
stream
used, and that's
stories
the
on
reason
this
we had to. Yes, thank you
account.
for all the 10 years. It is not 10 years as of today,
That's
but
still 10 years.
yeah, it's still 10 years. Yeah, it's the first time I've actually been able to celebrate this entire time. But yeah, let's continue. This is my pride and joy. My baby. Well, more baby, I guess now. My baby. My baby will always remember her. I also talk about something here. So as many of you know, the computer is voiced by the narrator of Kurzgesagt. His name is Steve Taylor. There was actually supposed to be more Kurzgesagt integration here, but the creator, I forget. Oh man, that's bad for me. Kurzgesagt himself, Mr. Kurzgesagt. We were actually going to have more integration here. This computer pad was actually supposed to have one of the little in a nutshell birds come in there, and the computer was supposed to talk to them. But scheduling, like getting all that in time, it fell through a little bit.
They're busier than you are.
Absolutely, cranking out those extremely high. He was busy writing the immune book, which I do have, which is like a college textbook level book. Really cool stuff. But it's like this whole show, we'll probably not touch on all of it. We'll talk a lot about compromises, improvisation, things that we want versus what we can actually do. That's the nature of any film, unless you're Marvel or Disney, and you can just throw money at the problem until you think the problem is solved.
That doesn't fix the problem.
That doesn't fix the problem. So a lot of the show, like I'm super proud of every single second of the show, but it also every single second of it because it's my show and our show, and like I wanted it to be the best possible to be. So it's like present during every single moment of it, and like planning it out and thinking of solutions on your feet, all make for a better show. So anyway, we get nailed.
Welcome aboard, Captain and Engineering. And full stabilization. First up, the warp core, the heart and soul of the ship. Still not 100% sure how it works, but
this is the same room we just walked. This is the hangar, right? So it's the same exact dimensions of the room. We just do a magic trick where we're going.
You just take those pillars along the wall,
Mm.
we slice them down the middle, flip the one upside down,
Yeah.
put the lights behind it.
And if you think about it, like planning when we film something is important because if we didn't get all the hangar stuff that we needed, we no longer had that set. We literally destroyed pieces of it to make the next portion. So scheduling when we film things was incredibly difficult.
The cryopod.
There we go.
The cryopods, we had to move them around because we only had the two. But the cryopod, as you'll find out, is also in the cryo room.
One in the cryo room, two in the.
But it's 28 minutes,
The bridge.
27 minutes.
So every time you had to move it, and they're made of foam, so they get.
It's
they get
7
every time you
p.m.
move it. So if you pay attention, you can see that they're like banged up on the corners because you had to physically lift this massive build,
Mhm.
bring it around the entire building, and stick it in another room.
Exactly. It was a challenge, a logistical challenge. But all of it, like, it worked towards the purpose of making a better show. So with enough planning, and honestly, there could have been more planning. Was there? But anyway, anyone see something? Oh, look at that! Is that old Mark? Could that possibly be old Mark?
Oh,
This
I
probably
can actually
runs
see
the
that.
second. This is the second most obvious one.
Yeah.
The first one is not obvious. That's intentional. But this is the second most. So there he is. There's our boy. And old Mark is here. And it's important to note, old Mark is here. Something goes wrong in this room, right? Okay, this is where the spoilers are coming in. If you haven't seen the show, watch the show. Hey, look. Not bad. Anyway.
how it works, but you don't need to know how something works in order to use it. And when we found it again, it passed every safety test with flying colors. Not gonna be like last time. Oh, not like last time. The Invincible is finally gonna live up to her name. But just in case, I built in special precaution. If anything goes wrong, we can detonate these explosives and separate the warp core from the rest of the ship. I've yet to meet a problem that can't be solved with explosives. And speaking of explosives, the main reactor. Turns out you pretty much need the power of star to tear up the wormholes. So star I built. Built like a tank, too.
Yes, someone did just yell "my eyes." That was, I believe that was Will. That was Will. Who, if you remember from Heist, one of the fun things in Heist, it's during the dark path where I keep going like, let's split up. And if you handcuff me, and the last one, and you're chased by those cultists, it's the entire crew that we film with, actually chanting in the same building that we're filming this one is going intruders, but also they chant, "We are evil, we will kill you." But a lot of times when we're doing post production, we'll need like a voice for something like that's actually Carlos who gets blasted in the eyes, and he goes, so we had Will, the producer, who, like, if you don't know what producers do, it's almost impossible to explain. But shows would not happen without producers. I'll just leave it at that. So he goes, but also in Heist, he's the one, the last cultist to fall down, who goes intruders, and then gets his head like caved in on one of those spikes. Intruders, clonk. That's also Will.
That's why there's like random, like my voice is in at one part.
Yeah,
It's really sound mixes, and it's like, it's not like you have the actors there still, and it doesn't matter whose voice it is. You're like, oh, like this part's quiet, so we need a line here, and so we just throw whoever's there up, and it's kind of fun because then there's like these little Easter eggs with the crew doing voices and the producers.
Yeah, it's really fun. Someone noticed there's underneath our webcam right here. There's this dancing dude. That is, you didn't notice right there. I kind of obscures it, but he's there pretty much the whole time.
Tear up the wormholes. So star I built. Built like a tank, too.
So there's a lot of little things that the VFX team just put in like that because they're building a reactor and they're like, let's put something fun in there. That's what the beauty of the show is. Like, people had fun. It was a lot of hard work. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of hard work, but it was also fun. And to me, that should be the point of the creative process. It should be fun. That's just a little easier. That's not over.
And maybe it is. Captain? Bert. Yeah, Bert. He makes sure that the ship don't go boom. Next up is cryo.
I want to give a shout out to this is Carlos, who
He was in Heist too.
he was in Heist as well. Some of the extras, they're extras, designated extras, but they were basically crew here because I have them do so much more than just like an extra. There's
Crew,
like,
not crew.
yeah.
Crew member, actor, crew member, not crew. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's hard. There's a lot of like rules and regulations with like determining extras versus crew, speaking roles versus non-speaking roles. To me, they're part of the ship's crew, and so I had them do a lot more and pay them equivalently to do a lot more. And also just like I'm so grateful that they were part of it. This is a running joke through the whole show, as you'll notice, barring a few exceptions, which we'll point out. Where he is ever since this moment constantly injured. No matter where he is, he's injured, which is just so goddamn funny. And also Bob is Bert. Just like, oh, so grateful that Bob played that role.
all the main crew, when you wrote the show initially, you didn't have your friends in mind. You didn't have any of the casting in mind when you wrote it, did you?
No, not really. Actually, I think
Mick maybe.
Mick kind of. Actually, I was kind of wondering about Gunther. I thought maybe Gunther could have been Matt Paddock.
Oh,
I,
I
thought so.
didn't know
I
that.
had an idea for that, but I didn't really have any solid idea until I started writing the dialogue of the characters, which never comes first for me unless it's like a specific line that I want to do. I don't know who's going to play it, and then the Gunther as he like transitioned, because Gunther. There was actually like Gunther be done in the earliest draft. There was two choices that don't exist in the show. There was Wake the Pilot, Wake the Gunner to deal with the same problem, and one of them was like Peter P. Pilotson, and the other was Gunther B. Gunnarsson. Those were the two like two people that you wake up. And so originally Gunther was not a part of the main trio of crew. There was no main trio of crew before.
You could talk for 10 hours about just this first fixing the ship section of the show.
Yeah.
That probably went through the most changes.
It really did. Ooh, that's fine. It definitely went through the most changes. It was definitely the most
That was like
expensive.
the logistically most complex about like how the hell do you
Why who went to end this?
Literally the first half of part one was 3 weeks of our entire film shoot. Was just the first half of part one, and anything on the ship was the first 18 days of filming was on this ship. That's how much, how involved it was, and how intensive it was to get all these details together. And also while we were filming, we were also still building the set. We were filming as we were building. It's crazy. It's crazy that this managed to happen.
It's crazy that you film with a decent budget
Man.
with like a full size crew.
Yeah.
It's insane that anything ever gets done.
It
It's just
really
this whole shoot, and like this shoot went really well. Like as far as having like problems on the fly, like it was very straightforward. It went well. But even so, the entire time it feels like every day is like this is not gonna happen. Like this is not gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
there's always you're like directing for you and producing and the the kind of management side of it. The whole time you're just like making concessions and you're like, okay, well, we gotta like this actor's injured, so we have to do something. We have to change the schedule somehow. Like I don't know, it's just shocking that anything gets made.
Yeah. Oh, some people were asking why is he injured. You will recognize him because he is right here. You hit him with your ship, Captain. What do you mean? Why is he injured? He just took a shuttle to the face. It's a wonder he's not just injured. Anyway, yeah, pay attention. Come on, pay
I think
attention.
that's perfectly clear.
No, it's not. Well, that's why like a lot of these things in the show I don't shove in your face and be like, this is it. There's a lot of things that exist in the background. And it was intentional because with Heist I wanted a lot more things going on in the background. And so with this one, I wanted it to not only be like the world is moving around the captain, things were very quick, but things are constantly happening in the background as well. And it was something that like with a little more time in film we were able to do. Anyway, we're getting bogged down here. No, not you. It's them. It's their fault. It's all your fault. It's your fault, Captain. You did this. The colonists are prepped, stable, and ready for transit. Systems are working at 110% too, which is a little weird, but overkill never hurts. Trust me. You do not want to be awake when the warp core hits the gas. So a few things to talk about this. This is obviously a set extension, and if you'll notice that from this moment on, we see this, and it establishes the scale of the ship. This with the reactor and the ceiling and the warp core room. It uses VFX to build the ship out and make it bigger, but also we shut it and never see it again because that's expensive. So
Well, that's like the joy and the charm of doing this on YouTube, and like not for like a streaming service, a different streaming service. It's like the campiness of this can be the joke. You can get away with that.
yeah, exactly.
Like we show it once and then we never see it again. That can be funny and that can be like part of the charm of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. But honestly, I think other shows could do it.
Oh yeah,
They're
it's
just not.
comedy. You can really do it with comedy.
Yeah, they're not brave enough. Also, this is Dorian talking here. Cece.
That's how. Captain, all colonists are prepped and stable. 100,000 souls ready for a new life. Let's give them their safe.
Oh, don't worry. Before they know it, they're gonna.
Obviously, when it's about
Why don't you give them more windows to look through?
well, for them, with see that kind of name
Go along
is.
with a crew like this.
But basically, Ursuline.
No asteroid getting by me, you can count on that.
Hey, watch.
This is the old Mark that most people noticed. Right there, that's old Mark. The whole point of this is like not only to give like life to the ship and stuff, but also it's like that video with what I wanted all this to be. It's like that video where the two teams playing basketball, and they ask you to count how many times the like red team passes or whatever team it was. And you're so focused on the basketball and counting that you don't notice a dancing bear literally breakdancing through the video. That's the point of this, is just to give life to the ship, but also hide the fact that there's a freaking old man hobbling out. Like you get bumped into and you get someone staring at you, which psychologically speaking, I wish I just had like who was it that showed the video of the eye tracker for audiences watching the movie? Did you see that?
Oh, they showed us at the sound mix.
Yeah, and it was just like this idea that they tracked the eyes of people watching this. So it's like I would love to know where people's eyes are here. Yeah.
Oh no, Captain, I'm falling. Catch me!
Taking this ball at times.
Navigation's online. Injured, they're looking good, Captain. Life support is online. Unless it's not, and we wouldn't know until we passed out. Seems fine. Everything's accounted for. Ready to see our new home. All that's left now. Just for you to say the word. Try not to get them too excited, Captain. I know how your speeches can get people riled up. Kiko! Kiko!
He was not very good.
No, honestly.
We only got one take.
You see how Tyler has to keep a hand on her? Because this is the problem, right? Getting everybody on set on one day is a logistical difficulty, right? So getting all these people with these different schedules here all at once, filming is planning. Making anything is planning. You have to have a good plan to be able to execute on this plan. So literally, we have all these people. It takes time to get everyone in their place. It takes time to talk to each one of them and explain what their actions
This
are.
shot was like half the day. I
Yeah,
swear.
this
At
is
least
pretty
like 3 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
this in this hallway we did the same day. It's tough. And Chica kept screwing up the shot by running out early. So Tyler was just like, I'll just keep a hand on her to make sure that she doesn't run away.
I think she was just so overstimulated.
It was a
and
lot.
She was like, she's very happy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was just so much.
She's too excited is the problem because she's just like, oh boy, what's going on?
Costume and like.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then I think Amy, you're right here.
Yeah, I'm off camera, so in theory, I'm right there, and then I call her, and that's when she should leave with everyone else. But as soon as she would stay, and then as soon as I was out of line of sight, she would run off. She'd forget what was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But because of the placement of the camera, I couldn't always be in line of sight.
Emil is also on part 2 and the Dino
No,
bit.
she's probably the single biggest.
It's Malcolm for the first time, in part 2,
We didn't have
so,
them on set when we were
yeah.
on vacation, but when we were filming on the soundstage, we had them with us, which was a delight.
It was a delight. Everyone being able to go back there and just pet Chica, give Chica. Chica loved it, of
I
course.
was always really interested. So we had really intense COVID testing protocols.
Right, that was the other challenge.
Yeah, which is like
Right, 21
We
minutes.
also like took up a good half hour every Monday morning. And it was just like that was a big part of it. But and everyone just had to be masked the whole time. There's union rules about all this, and the original YouTube deal like had all these things in them. It was great, and no one got sick. Like
we were filming at the height of like the second wave of
in
COVID
Texas, like it was scary. I was always worried that Chica was going to be like the super spreader event. People would come in and they'd like lower their mask and they'd give her a little kiss on the forehead. Everyone would kiss her on the forehead.
You had this brilliant idea. You know the Saint Bernard, like the barrel of rum that is under Saint Bernard's neck. You bought one and a giant bottle of hand sanitizer, and it was going to be a thing where you modified it so that she was wearing this big thing of hand sanitizer, so people would have to like sanitize.
We were too busy. I didn't get a chance to put it together.
And also like the testing it out. Chica did not like it. She was like, I don't know what this thing is. So anyway, it was actually not just Monday. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah. It was 3 times a week we were tested. So first thing in the morning, nothing wakes you up like a swab up your nose, bam. And Fridays were the deep nose swab. So like Monday, Wednesday was like front of nose swab, and then Friday was a brain scratcher. So
but when you're getting on the site at like 5 a.m., you're like, all right, like
yeah, no, that really does wake you up. Oh. Anyway. Different, totally different days, right? So
when you look at your hair, you can probably see.
yeah, so yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, so this is shot A, and this is a transition. You can actually probably see it. It's really well done. So this is probably where they transition shot B. I probably think they put like a feather thing. We're actually probably in the middle because it was Danny before, and then Tyler wearing this costume afterwards, because about the same height. And then this is a different day. So pretty smooth transition, I'd say. That's a good one. Yeah. Anyway, I had the drink. I'm sure you'll make great speak twice. It was mine and oh no, mine was I did chunk. And
oh, and I forgot to mention, it's not a problem, of course. But just before you go to sleep, be absolutely sure. Do not run holding at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Error.
A software update is available. Would you like to restart to apply this update? Software update complete.
Good morning, Captain. We are currently error is in Logitech. Coffee is en route. Current ship state is absolutely catastrophic. Initializing emergency wiki protocol.
that was tough. Yeah.
Reviving head engineer. Holding detected. Single there. Fire on the bridge. Let's put this in state. Automatic fire suppression system offline. Error. Failsafes offline.
Okay, so we just saw a lot, right? People are asking, do not what? And that's, I'll tell you straight, that's just a generic joke, right? That's a cliche in storytelling where right before you do something, something tells you, be sure to not, and they're cut off. It's like the gorilla, the chocolate gorilla melting in the pot of milk. It's like, quickly, I don't have much time. Before I go, you absolutely must. You know, that's that joke. There's nothing to that. However, there are some things here to note. Specifically, a lot of people ask, who says this, right? Who says don't give up? That's Doreen. I'll explain why later. Some of you already probably know the reason why, but I'll explain why later.
Yeah, because Doreen is slim but also really, really strong.
For later on, this me flopping out.
We all to you, boy.
She did a 3D body scan.
We know
They
that
brought a truck that had, like,
the Doreen
hundreds
is
of people
freaking.
in it. They stood there, T-posed.
Yeah, I talked about that with the corridor guys because
We know that
we had one day. This is where planning comes in.
For
One
real.
day to get all the 3D scans. And
I was gonna say my puzzle.
changes stuff for that and stack those.
So since you gotta say my puzzle, part three.
It's all difficult. But one of the things that was important to the story that
Try to
hasn't
explain
existed
that,
since
Mark.
the beginning of
Try to
my
explain what I was
first
supposed to
iteration of
say.
the show,
My puzzle
that
was
the
against
first
part
story
two.
made without me. And that was all.
Was I
But
bet
because one of the
anyway,
things
I was
like
gone
High
for that
Spark
bit
against High Spark
because
Eight,
I'm like
the
3
problem
hours
with
later
those
this.
videos, as fun as they are represented, you
Do
don't
you
have
think
much
that bit?
agency in terms of the adventure, and it's very counter to the idea that you are the captain of the
No,
ship.
I
You
don't
are in
think it's
charge.
gone to
You
that
make the
on big
decisions.
yet.
Walk, captain here. Walk, make decision. Walk, say, open door. You know. So the first choice, I.
Hey, Markwag.
Before anything
My
else,
second one
the
my
story
favorite
I
characters
knocked
in
out.
this.
And you had
I
nothing
think my favorite character
I
in
love
this.
the
The
idea that
play
you are
that
so used to me designing
sometimes,
through
but
these adventures
yeah.
that I'm taking myself out of the equation. Literally, I got it. It's such a beautiful.
It's so cool.
It's so sudden. It's I almost didn't want to use that in the trailer because I wanted it to be even more sudden. But yeah, you are alone in this. And with that being said, we are at our first decision.
Could you use the polls? Or is that
I'm
your
gonna
own?
do poll.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
forgot
do
poll
poll.
was
Yeah, we're gonna get the poll in here.
I missed Drawful.
No. Put out the fire or fix life support. Again, heavy spoilers if you're just joining this and you want to see it for yourself, go watch it. But also you can join us. What do while they're doing that? Just like, man, we could talk endlessly about this room and like the TV screens and trying to pre-plan stuff to have on there versus
Sometimes the screens had graphics on them while we were filming, and sometimes the screens were comped afterwards. And you can kind of tell if you pay attention. You know,
these are all before. These were already on screen because we had like little like tiny devices that helped us do what we needed to do. All right, fixed life support seems to be the way that people want to go. Wise decisions, wise, maybe.
Within life support.
You know when the captain runs. So
I know what you're gonna say.
YouTube was incredibly supportive of this show. Incredibly supportive. Like Mark had full creative control. They were wonderful. They did not think this was funny. They were like, "Can you take that out?" And we're like, "Well, no, we already filmed it. We can't just remove the hands."
I know, right? Because like even in all these things in heists and whatnot, this has been a part in date. Like we've done our best. Like it was one hand when we only had one hand, but like this has been a part of it for a while. Just like weird chopping, running. It's like that's kind of like it doesn't make sense, but we like it. It's cute. So yeah, YouTube. They had a few notes like that. One of which will infuriate you. We'll get to that when we get it. But thankfully, I did have complete creative control, which is rare in YouTube originals. And really, like I do gotta thank you for trusting me with that. That was one of my.
Yeah, I see you whistles so down if I remember. That's why like once he's like, so like I see to be able to go top two because it whistles sat down. So I think yeah, but this means because his whistle will be sat down by the time this premieres. So I know how we still probably choose it, but I guess because it was made before, you know, because it got sat down. But yeah, so that's always why I think it's box size skip because the whistle sat down, so that means he did not skip because he whistles sat down, which sucks. So this will probably be box size skip. because he's original shut down.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put up a new poll. And we reserve the right to overrule if we need to show you something that needs to be shown. But for now, I'm going to do this poll. One thing that's going to like blow your mind and just talk about the iterative process of writing this is originally, and a lot of people have pointed out, like, okay, if you fix a lot of people just find if you fix life support, logically that would increase the oxygen and then the fire would grow. And you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. I hand waved it with okay, the oxygen ran out and that extinguished the fire, which wouldn't necessarily be the case. The original incarnation of the show is both choices: putting out the fire or fixing life support ended with your death because you couldn't solve it by yourself. That was like the whole crux of the issue. It was supposed to be an educational moment to show you that the respawn mechanic. However, in the differentiating of making this first thing, it was too big to have too many fail states because the difference between this and Heist is there are no fail states. There are failures, yes, but the story continues.
It continues to branch.
It continues to branch. So if you have 2 deaths initially, that's an entire exponential more number of videos that you go through. And this first section of saving the ship is so many videos already that I had to pare it down. And I thought of a justification reason like, okay, it might be fun if there is a path, a perfect path, where you as the captain can go through this without ever dying. But then you die of old age later. So like it all gets you eventually. But so yeah, that was originally. It originally was going to be if you fix the oxygen, the fire grows and it goes bigger and the whole ship explodes. If you put out the fire, obviously nothing happens. So anyway, wake the crew by 57%.
Initiating wakey protocol for good speakers.
There's still so many. There's errors in here that I have not gotten to fixing yet. So
The B stands for bullet. I heard you had a little problem on your I've been through hundreds of battles, fought through hundreds of traps. You rogue drones ain't gonna get the best of me. I'm sorry, Cap. Next time, give me a challenge. You feel that? It's kind of cold in here. That's currently in trial. That is no good, Captain. I gotta go check on AES. Good luck with that.
okay, so number 1, Gunther played by Mick, who was the detective in Who Killed Markiplier and other things. Incredibly talented actor in general.
I need to have a Mick for a minute. Sounds like podcast you added. Okay, so I thought about this. I think briefly, like I see videos on my channel, but yeah. But Mick has had also I think I said about it on one of these streams on here. I think yeah, I talked about it on one streams I told I believe my part about teach trail was on though. But yeah, with stream. But Mick, like he went from being a detective to being like a prison guard to being a space like a colonist, a space colonist. Like what? Doesn't make any sense. Like how does he go being a detective? Like plus remember he was one that was looking for Wilford. Remember? So boy, what? I thought you were looking for Wilford. Why are you in space? Wilford ain't in space. But the last time I saw him, he decided because he was gonna, heal himself. But Wilford fits him out to, have fun. So I'm confused about I'm pretty confused about each time that's what I'm saying because it's space out before out of space is high, so that means but how would Abe go from being a space colonist to being a I mean it makes sense go from being a detective, but how does he go from being a space colonist to being I'm just confused because whenever the guys would have to console, like they get arrested or something or because they were in space, so how did they get back to Earth? I don't know. I'm just confused about a timeline. Based on what I'm saying. That's what I'm missing in this. They probably did a part 2 after dinner. That's not good to that when I was streaming. I think I knew, should I count because there's not about stream stories.
Yeah, a lot of these choices are like based on rules of threes. You can do the same thing 3 times, and that usually will get you to a good thing unless you're fixing it from the inside. Doesn't work as well for you. But one of the things I like to talk about this is like the scheduling. It is not apparent just how difficult it is to schedule these things in terms of filming, especially when we have so many pieces in the same place and making sure that not everything's forgotten. Like you get all the coverage you need because that's the complexity of this opening sequence on the ship. You are looking at this door here after Gunther walks out. Gunther that gets replaced by Doreen, me going in by myself, you throwing me in from respawning from fixing it outside, you throwing me in again when respawning me from fixing it from the outside, and then all the intros and outros, the cuts between me throwing my own dummy against the wall. There's probably like 12 or so iterations of just
and
looking
you're trying
at
to
this.
match these to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. All of these different elements. Like this here is a cut to a different scene. This one you can actually see it's covered up by the explosion pretty well, but you can see this is a different scene. You look down from the explosion and then about right here It switches, right? Actually, yeah, I think it switches because you can see his leg. I think it switches just about there-ish, or maybe on the way back up. I can't even remember.
It's so good.
It's so smooth. But these are different takes. Oh, here it is. You can see the blend here on the motion blur here. This is where it blends the shot together. And then suddenly you're looking at the other shot because it took an hour and a half to get Gunther all dirtied up. That's the thing about production. It takes time to do anything. We had to take one of these and make this damage version. We had put smoke in it. We had like this is the only time he's damaged like this. But because the story requires it, he's solved in there and we planned for it. Okay, we had to take the time to do that.
That was a big thing with like old Mark and frozen Mark.
Yeah.
And anyone who's like damaged at any point, like Lady, those costume changes take a couple hours.
Yeah, it does.
So that's like, and Mark directing, like that's 2 hours without Mark.
Yeah.
Mark sitting in a chair. So like, you need to do something with those 2 hours. And like that's where it gets really.
And that's why it was valuable.
Yeah.
You there, Isaac,
Isaac's
Phil.
like the reason when we're like, oh, there's 12 different versions of this shot. Isaac is the one who went through and made sure we got those 12 shots and figured out how the hell we were going to get those 12 shots.
Yeah.
And let alone accounting for all of like the actors like travel schedules coming into Texas and like making sure they weren't there for a month. It was like, okay, we need them these 2 exact days. Like
it's nuts, the logistics behind it, and that's what producers and assistant directors do. Isaac was the first assistant director, and this is your mini Markiplier film school here. Write this down, kids. I did not go to film school, so it's amazing that this even happened. Considering that.
You don't need it. I did it. You don't need it. Just a heads up.
But yeah, that's a testament to you to just create a process. Like, I never went to film school. I did a lot of film projects. I've made many videos and many sketches and stuff like that. So I've learned a lot. It's not just like you just pick up. You can't just like decide one day to do this without any experience. It won't work. I'm sorry.
You can see how you built up knowledge.
Exactly. It's a build up over time. Isaac is the first assistant director. The first assistant director, not only typically sometimes depends on the director, calls for action, calls for cut, is talking to everybody, is communicating with the rest of the crew, is like a liaison from the director to the rest of the crew, but also sets the schedule when we film things, works with the producers to know what locations we have, what segments, the shot list. You know, typically, not always, like everything's an exception. Typically, that's the assistant director's job, and there's a second AD and sometimes a third AD. And all of them are to assist the director in executing their vision, and that's pretty much the entire crew. The vision is this word they use for the stupid shit that's in the director's head.
What were we watching? Was that Corridor yesterday or something where they were like, oh, was it in the Corridor video that you're in, where they're like, are all directors doing the same thing?
Yeah, that's the video from Corridor. Yeah, so yeah.
This is what a director does.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, Corridor crew, very good. But just so many pieces. And so even here, we were looking at his story like 10 different times, 10 different iterations. The frozen Mark look probably second only to old Mark in terms of time.
Frozen Mark's my favorite. My absolute favorite.
Yeah. Wait.
Initiating Wiki protocol for Celsius and Carolina. Head of the project.
Ship design on problem again, Captain. Oh, where's that idiot anyway? Yes, he found out the hard way that Glasmanoz's face don't exactly mix. I tried to warn him, but you know how Mark is. Honestly, it's probably better this way. Someone has to put the lives of the colonists first, and it looks like it's gonna be me, as usual. I got it.
Alert,
Captain, come quick.
warning, reactor
Colonists are safe, but we got bigger problems.
If you would let me finish, I was saying reactor core.
Computer, I need you to wake up and get him down here right now.
I'm sorry, but the Wiki protocol can only be authorized by the captain and head engineer.
Well, I mean, Mark's dead. Doesn't that give you a promotion?
I'm sorry, but the previous head engineer has assigned you the lifetime ship role of which does not allow for direct promotion or any upward mobility.
Moron. Captain, I need you to wake up her, get him down here to fix that reactor right now.
Travel the role of officers are not allowed to make demands of the captain.
We have to fix this now or we're all gonna die.
So obviously this is Pam. Everyone round of applause for Pam. I believe Pam's in chat right now, so Pam can see everything that you write, so you better say nice things. I'm gonna get the poll up.
Goddamn costume, Pam.
Oh, yeah, just
Go ahead and
piss
tell them
off.
about like that costume.
I mean, it's
He
it's
better-
a suit, and
if he
it's
doesn't,
a set that's like, there's
confirm
like 90 degrees
that-
in there. It's hot. In summer in Texas.
Does
like,
it confirm that?
Yeah,
I
this
could
is
be
one of the things
so
you write something
mad.
Story-wise, head of cryo.
Better.
Gold. Of course they'd wear a snowsuit.
like, super cute.
Sorry, I'm
Look,
just
Great
mad
look.
because
Miserable to wear. I felt
I
so
know
bad. We were shoving ice packs down the costume,
that-
and it is legitimately a
got her name.
It is a head
But you
of-
know,
Oh,
I know that's all Celine.
but just-
That's all,
Oh, also,
you
it's
know,
his birthday.
no, not that's,
Yeah,
but
happy birthday.
Dwayne.
So
I know Dwayne says all Celine.
I'm gonna make a executive
Back
decision.
from that. If it doesn't,
Through. Well, actually, I want to go this other path because it is
back
one of the
from
least
that,
viewed
and
paths
this, I
of all.
swear.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I can't,
I
not,
love
I
doing
thought I
this.
saw that,
This is
but
you,
better have
interactive
confirmed
videos
that
and
so far in
stuff.
this stream. I'll probably
We
do a
are gonna
second
blow it up
reaction
before it blows
pod
you
stream
up, because that's what
tomorrow.
I want to do. I'm the chaotic captain here. I'm in charge.
So,
It's me.
yeah.
But it makes sense that people wouldn't have clicked it because if you've already woken the crew twice.
Because I want to see if it confirms, you
No,
know,
no, no, no. That's absolutely
that
yeah, because that's
Dwayne, it says all Celine.
I
We
want
know
to
that
blow
it
up, so
is.
We're gonna have a little chaos in here. We're gonna blow it up.
Boy.
What are you doing? Captain, no! Captain, no, pick up on it! No! Captain, give me that! Give me that! Captain, no! Next serving with you. Software update complete.
Good morning, captain. We are currently error appears into our journey. Coffee is en route. Current ship. Absolutely. Using an emergency wiki protocol.
Captain, something is very wrong.
Alert, fire on the bridge. Alert, fire extinguisher.
The lights are fail.
Alert, light support is fail.
Most things, but it feels like I've been here. Is this a dream? Is this deja vu? I am an idiot. It's gonna go.
Yes, our flight is immediately prior will leak in
The whole reactor's gonna go.
Alert, the reactor will achieve catastrophic debris in approximately 1 minute.
Succeed. 3 seconds, I got time. What's weird is I feel it's all before. Everything I've done already. I can't get to the worker because there's a wormhole in the middle of our ship, which is impossible. Which means that if I'm seeing it, I must be crazy. But I'm not crazy. You saw. I knew. Maybe I have to be crazy to be thinking like this. Is this a dream? Are we dead? I don't know. But you believe me, right? Captain, you believe me. So this is the reason I want to go down here because it's fun, right? The what I wanted to illustrate with the on the ship saving stuff is number one, a path for you to fix it without dying. You never really encounter any anomalies, any alternate universes. You don't go anywhere. And then I also wanted options for it to go bonkers insane, and it does in a few different ones. One I want to go back to is the everything's fine universe. But this is okay. What do I believe you? This must be a dream. And so this is like the first peak for Mark. Pre-Mark going into the wormhole, starting to question the nature of reality. And it's interesting because here you have this situation where this is the first time, if this is your first playthrough, a lot of this show is based on what is your first path. That is your canon path. Every one of you has a different canon path. The point of the show is to always keep moving forward no matter what you do. Your first choices is your first path, and that is solidified. But with Mark here, this is your first time dying if this is the way you went the first time, and therefore you didn't respawn yet. You haven't died yet. And yet here Mark is going like, what the fuck is going on? Something
Right, for a
It
minute.
really does offer this kind of neat, interesting peek behind it. I believe you.
I believe him.
Well, that's boring.
Why do you let him pick it? You're just gonna override them.
Because it's my 10-year.
Just do it.
But that's the thing. This is actually the least picked video in the entirety of part 1. This must be a dream. It has not been picked. I don't know whether because I was so convincing, whether people suspect that something is going on. This is the least picked path of all videos in part 1.
Fascinating.
It's fascinating. So I am overruling you. Yeah, ignore the boring people. Yeah. I will ignore the boring people. We're here to have fun. This is the fun path. All right, pull over. No, Captain, this is a dream. No, I thought that too. It's too real. Everything's real. You have to believe me, Captain. It's real. This is real. It's real.
Well, this dream is certainly taking some interesting turns. And what a dream it's been. So far be it from you, Dad, prematurely. You watch with glee as Mark runs frantically to and from, fixing various problems that seem to be plaguing your ship. He brings you to the warp core hallway to observe the swirl miasma of chaotic madness that blocks the path to the warp core. You hear his desperate pleas that something has gone horribly wrong with reality and laugh even harder than before. You're still laughing while Mark activates the Event Horizon protocol that will blow up the warp core hallway and send the ship sailing off into the void. Eager to see where this dream's going to take you next, you wave goodbye to the swirling blue wormhole. Your ship drifts for a while, but as with most dreams, things shift pretty quickly. You stumble across an alien. A alien! What a dream! They make contact by immediately boarding your ship and taking every single crew member and colonist on board as their prisoners. Apparently, they're alien poachers who are on the hunt for fresh blood for their gladiator pits. You go along with them for the fun and are swiftly brought to some sort of desert planet and shunted into the waiting rooms below the fighting pits. The crowd roars out for blood somewhere above you. Their screams rising and falling with the fight currently taking place. Someone must have won or lost as the crowd explodes and cheers, shaking the walls of the cell you've been placed in, or something like that. What a vivid dream. While the rest of the crew weeps or sobs or begs, as a combination of the three, you find yourself idly perusing the weapons that have been laid out before you. Eventually, they come to drag you to the pits, but they needn't bother. You already know how the fight will go and step out onto the sands of your own volition. It's your dream after all. Your opponent is huge. A great muscle beast bellows out a challenge that shakes the foundation of the arena. His enormous weapon dripping with the fresh blood of his previous and apparently pervious opponents. Time seems to slow down as the axe whistles towards your neck, and you find yourself smiling. People usually wake up from a dream right before dying in. To be perfectly honest, this particular dream was getting a little.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Your
one.
editors did these long
Yeah,
codes.
this one was Marcus, I believe. So yeah, that's In Space Part 1. Well done.
How many people? Because you saw a couple comments. Only watched to this point.
More than you'd think. Some
knew it.
people who watched part 1 never went any farther than this moment. And I know some of you watching this might have your minds blown right now to know that there is more show after this. So many people, not a lot, I'm not gonna say it's a lot, but so many more than you would expect, only got up to this point and thought it was like heist and been like, I got an ending, and then they used the back button to go all the way to the top. It is not thousands, I don't think, but there are definitely some
knows?
people that only got this far. And there was an entire, but that's the point of these. That's the point of these, right? These are supposed to look, and they are functionally identical to the heist endings. Because that was the whole point of the first section of part 1, is to give the illusion that you're reaching a conclusion. Because why else would you think that? This is one of the more fun ones in that you think it's a dream. Because of course, this can't be real. I didn't just die. You can't do that. Of course. And it's just like all these choices are committing to the choice as far as it'll go. That was the fun thing about writing. You commit to the choice that it's a dream. Nothing will convince you from that moment on that it is not a dream. So you just do dream stuff. You're gladiator. Sure, let's do it. Until you get an accident and then you die, right? But functionally, compared
So I don't know why
computer
people would
tactics, heists like
stop
endings,
it here
deepest
and not
dreams,
click on that go to his
right?
live video.
Maybe 6 or 7. It would be the row scientist one.
So y'all are stupid.
But this is
Well,
like-
some of y'all
this
are
is-
stupid.
And it was intended that way. I wanted it to be like that because I wanted to throw people off, because I wanted to give people the feeling that they are stuck. And I think that the one that gives it the most is probably either the fix it from the outside one or the Mark. You said Mark in a million times. All of them have different flavors. there is just like this similar feeling across the board. It's like, I did it, adventure over, and there's so much more left to do, like beyond that. I'm gonna keep going forward. I would love to go back, but we have a behind the scenes video that to show you in the stream that I want to get to, and I can talk endlessly about this. But the whole idea is like, in the challenge of this particular one is, how do you have a cohesive narrative in an interactive format? And the only way to do that is to make the illusion of choice part of the story, and that is the story of In Space. It is the illusion of
All
choice,
right,
feeling
I'm
choice.
gonna
I planned for part 1 at the end of it. When
stop it right there. I gotta go eat dinner. So yeah, that's it. I'm back tomorrow. Right, so the rest of this, hopefully someone uploads like the whole stream. Just again, watch the rest of it tomorrow, okay? Because after this stream, I go down. I could do another stream after that, so I can have a new stream account. And by the time I'm done doing that, I'll probably time to go to sleep. Probably because already spicy. I'm 7 o'clock. Okay, and I don't have to go this week, so I'm sick. Because that's how this stream I throat is holding, and yeah. Alright, much watching. Psych Project comes tomorrow, and then once we're done with all this, and I'll do it from the channel. And for Space with Markiplier. And yeah, that's my final skill, because you see it's upside down. So yeah. Alright, much watching, and see you all tomorrow. Bye, captains.